Hannah Kessler.
This gal started her own bank at the age of 18, and then you became a self-made millionaire by the age of 24?
I did.
Hannah Kessler is a money mentor.
She's known as the single millionaire chick.
With advice on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Money starts with your mindset.
How you think about your money is going to greatly impact how much money that you have.
I grew up in a town called Olathe, Kansas. I'd be walking out of the door, going to school, and my mama would holler at me, "Hannah, make good choices." And I'd have to holler back, "Because the choices I make today will affect my future."
My parents, they did a very good job about teaching me as a child how to handle my money. We have a lack of understanding when it comes to money.
If you want your kids to have money, you need to start talking to them about it while they're young.
I'm really second generation to this concept that's called the infinite banking concept.
And at 18 years old, my dad gave me the choice to start my own bank that then led me to becoming a millionaire by the time I was 24.
Now you've written a book to help tie it all together.
So the companion is really just teaching kids that, not specifically money, but really important life lessons.
Now being the owner of the Money Multiplier, I help serve over 17,000 clients in every state of the country.
Where can people get the book?
HannahKessler.com. Hannah spelled the same way forwards and backwards, Kessler with one S.
Also, I got my podcast show, the Money Multiplier Podcast.
And make good choices today, because the choices you make today will affect your future. Good morning, my friends. Hello, hello. I almost forgot to play my intro video. I was like, oh, shoot, we got an intro video to still play. Hey, Mr. David, Dexter, good morning to you. Thomas, Mr. Thomas, we missed you in Tampa this past weekend, so I got to see you sometime this year. Annette, hello. And hey, Alfredo, just FYI, I sent you an email this morning. We got to connect one-on-one together, okay? And then Miss Misty, it's good to see you, pretty lady. It's been a little bit. Hey, I got to tell you, Misty, I was actually at the St. Pete RIA meetup. Eric Greenstein's group, they put that on. He wasn't there. He was down in Fort Lauderdale doing his stuff. He's actually doing like a house sale right now. But I was thinking about you actually on a Thursday evening of last week. So a week ago from today. So good to see you here. All right, good morning, y'all. So a little update, so I'm back home. I'm here in Daytona Beach, Florida, back home at my condo. We just got done with the live Tampa event. That was a lot of fun. For my people who did come out, put it in the chat box. I want to know your feedback. And it was a good event. And to be honest with you, I learned a lot about myself through the whole weekend. Just different characteristic traits of what I want to implement within my business this year. So maybe I'll share that on the podcast show. Maybe I won't do it on the live stream. We'll kind of see. But I learned a lot, and we're still growing up. Okay. Growing up is weird being a 26-year-old, from experiences, meeting people, having different conversations, dealing with different personality types. You learn a lot. So it was a great event. I'm very grateful for all of you money multipliers who showed up, and we're just very present during the 2 days that we had the speakers. And Les Brown, that was really cool. Actually, a note that I took, and now I have it hanging in my office, just in the other room. I look at it every day. My biggest takeaway from Les Brown is he said, ask for help, not because you are weak, but because you want to remain strong. And that is something that we talked a little bit about, not last week. I know we had to miss a week on the morning show, so sorry, friends, but we're back at it. But the prior week when I was there with Eric, And it's hard for me to ask for help because I'm a perfectionist. Okay. Let me tell you, perfection is the enemy to success. And I'm a little bit of a control freak, but it's important to delegate, lean on your team, lean on other people. Because if you don't, you're going to burn yourself out. I burnt myself out in 2025, and I'm not trying to do that again. So it's just important to always delegate those tasks. And, yes, is that person going to do it the best that you can maybe do it? Probably not. But do they do it to a manner that's sufficient and good enough? Yes. And it's always a training. You just train them, you give them feedback. And I've been learning that a lot. So I'm very grateful for my team. I have good people on my team. And honestly, that's some of the topics. I want to get into part 2 of this series. And I know it's not eloquently said, but things that will take you far in business. This is part 2 of my little mini series here. And how I thought about this, okay, long story short, I know I shared it the last time, but when I was in the van, I was at a national park, Daisy and myself, and I was thinking about all of the knowledge that I've gained up to this point, just being a young entrepreneur and coming from a family of entrepreneurs, dad owning 5 chiropractic clinics, mom running the billing department for the offices, and then also other chiros. She would help out with their billing. And the knowledge that I've gained from the chiropractic business to now and running the money multiplier in this business here. And it's kind of funny because really businesses are very, very similar. It doesn't matter what line of business you're in. The principles of that business is very similar. It's just, hey, instead of having strategy calls with my money multiplier people who want to start the infinite banking concept, what we would do in the chiropractic days is we'd have those patients sit down, walk through meetings and putting together a plan for that patient. The marketing is even the same. We used to do dinner with the doc. Brent would host a dinner. I'd help him run the AV, and he would just share, the benefits of chiropractic and the differences between holistic care versus Western medicine. And it's the same thing of what we do over here. We host events, we go and speak at other people's events. And so I've just noticed that there's a lot of similarities and synergies between businesses and businesses. But go and rewatch. Okay, so if you did not see part 1, I would encourage y'all to go rewatch that episode because I'm not going to get into those specific bullet points that we talked about there. You can go and watch these replays on YouTube. If you look up the Money Multiplier or Hannah Kessler, they're on both of those channels. Or if you're a podcast listener, you want to see this just as audio, it's on all podcasting platforms, Monday Mornings with Hannah. So just a reminder too, I'm here every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and come in and just chat with us. I'm always here. I want to answer questions with y'all. All right, but without further ado, let's get into it. A few bullet points of principles that will separate you from good entrepreneurs, good business owners, to great entrepreneurs and tremendous business owners. Starting off with bullet point number 1, lead with a good heart. Did you do the best that you could do? I'm going to shout out my mama here for a second. This came from my mom because, again, I'm a recovering people pleaser, recovering perfectionist. And sometimes I'll get down on myself and I will vent to my mother. My mom is my rock, let me tell you. And I'll vent to her and she's like, but Hannah, did you do the best job that you could have done? Did you perform to that best ability that you know that you could perform at? And if the answer is yes, that's all you could really ask of yourself. So we're always learning. We're always evolving as mentors, as speakers, as business owners, even as employees, right? You learn because of the experiences that are thrown at you and how you navigate those experiences. And that's what I always think, if you don't learn something the first time, God will put it right back in your life the second time. He's like, all right, well, you didn't handle it correctly the first time. I'm going to give you it again, right? Have you guys noticed that? I can tell you my dating life, I've noticed that. I haven't figured that one out. But really, did you lead with a good heart, and did you do the best of your ability? And if the answer is yes, that's all you can ever ask for. You learn from the experience, and then you move on from that. You can't dwell in the past, right? I mean, yeah, there's even some moments in my life where I get very anxious thinking about past times where I was like, oh shit, I really screwed up there. And I can't get anxious about it. I have to learn from it and then move on to be better moving forward. And then just going back to leading with a good heart. I mean, let me just tell you, okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it here, but let's just talk about it. There are some people that you're going to jive with and some people that you're just not going to jive with, the personality types, the communication styles. But really, when I want to do my business, I only want to do business with good people who are leading from their heart space. You can actually feel that, right? When you're talking with people, you can feel it. And I know, like, as a woman, having and leaning into that women intuition that we do have, it has helped me tremendously. I remember back in October, I was speaking at Walter Amarillo's event in Orlando, Alchemist Nation. And Courtney, if you're listening, all right, Courtney was up there on stage on a panel, and she was the only female on stage. And the question was around, like, hey, how do you know whether you want to do business with this person? Or how do you know whether this deal is good or not when they're investing in their multifamily portfolio? And everybody, all the men, okay, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you guys, but all the men were like, well, we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at the stats, we're looking at the comparisons of where that property is located at, and the tenants and the turnover rates and blah, 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 blah. And then it gets to Courtney, and Courtney says, you know, all of that stuff is very, very important, but I really do business based off of the vibe that I get from that person. And I was like, I love it. I do the same thing. It's, do I vibe with that person? Because you can just feel it. You can feel how they're moving and how they're operating. Is it coming from a place of truth in their heart center, or do they just have dollar signs in their eyes, and are they acting out of greed and ego, right? I don't want to work with somebody who has a big head and you can't fit them through the doorway because their head is so freaking big, right? I mean, I'll tell you, a lot of people, you guys got to have some ego deaths, let me tell you. But you know, I only really want to do people who are doing this for the right reasons and who are operating out of that heart center for themselves. And that's my biggest feedback. You know, if your gut and your intuition is telling you something, I would lean into it. So lead with a good heart. And did you do the best job that you could do? Bullet point number 1. Number 2, get testimonials and don't be afraid to ask for them. This is something I'm still learning, to get testimonials. My mentor does a phenomenal job at this, asking and getting those video testimonials from people. I have started to post it up on my website, hannahkessler.com. Let me put the little banner right there. Okay, hannahkessler.com. I have been asking for more and more testimonials as time goes on, because Brent Kessler has taught me, I'm not going to say this word for word, but it's along the lines of, people will not take your word for it. They're going to go look you up. They're going to look you up, and they're going to see what other people are saying about you. And people live and hear vicariously through the words and actions of other people. Something along those lines. You get the gist of what I'm saying? So you can pump yourself up to the best person and best personality and best individual ever. But really, people are going to ask the community and other folks about you and their opinions about you and how it has been like working with you. And they're going to take those conversations to heart, and you can beef yourself up as the best of your ability, but honestly, they're going to go out there, they're going to do their due diligence, they're going to ask other clients of yours how it's like working with you, and it's important. So get the testimonials, because it's not just what you say and what you do, it's how other people are talking about you and how you've helped them. That's going to make the greatest impact. So get the testimonials, post them up on your social media channels, post them up on your website, because people are going to take what other folks are saying about you to heart. So that's bullet point number 2. Get the testimonials and don't be afraid to ask for them. Bullet point number 3, reward your team. And I put a little dash, words of affirmation too. I'm thinking about like my older brother. Sean has a property management business down in North Captiva Island. And him and Allie are doing very, very well. Just FYI, there are some openings. Hold on, let me create a little banner for this. www.captivabeachsunset.com, add banner. All right, go look it up. That's one of our rentals down in North Captiva Beach Sunset. You can see that house and what it's all about. It's a big house. I want to say there's about 6-7 bedrooms or so. I want to say it sleeps 14 people. It's beautiful. We do still have some openings, vacation time, but Sean and Allie, just real quick, little plug too. They started a jet ski rental business down in North Cap as well. So you can go and rent out the jet skis. They bought 4 new jet skis down there. And they even have like a golf cart business, because how you get around on the island is just through golf carts. There's no cars on the island. How you get to the island is by a small airplane landing on a grass strip or by boat. It's really, really cool place. So spend a week down there, see what North Captiva is all about. Just on the west side of Florida, down south near the Sanibel, Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. But Sean, I remember Sean was on the phone with my dad, and I was sitting there in the office with Dad, and we were running through some stuff. And so Sean just called. Dad picks up the phone and was talking to him. And Dad tells Sean, hey man, you know, your workers are doing a lot for you, and you got some good workers. What you should do is you should just hand them $100, a $200 bill out, you know, out of the blue, and just make sure that you're taking care of your good people, because it's hard to find good people, and it's hard to retain those good people as well. So reward your team and you know, give them some stuff from time to time. I just told my assistant, because he's doing so fabulous, I asked him after the event, I had to call him up because I'm like, Matthew, don't hate me. I know I hired you for business stuff, but will you please schedule me a massage appointment at Hand & Stone in Daytona Beach? And so he went in there and he scheduled me a massage appointment. And I was like, thank you. I know I didn't hire you for personal stuff, but I really do appreciate it. And hey, you've been doing a phenomenal job. We've been working together for a year now. If you want to go and book yourself a massage appointment, let me know and I'll pay the bill for it. So take good care of your people, because if you take good care of them, you're going to retain them. They're going to be loyal to you, and then they're going to want to show up for you. I hear a lot of stories from friends who are working corporate jobs and they hate their boss. Their boss is not there for them. You know what I mean? So take good care of your people, do things for them out of the blue so that they remain loyal, they stay, and they continue to do a good job for you. Because retaining good people, it's hard. It's hard to find good people in this world and day and age that we're living in. So reward your team, and in words of affirmation too. It's important, I think, to give reviews, annual reviews, or maybe even semi-annual reviews to your people. Give them feedback. Your employees want the feedback. They want to know if they're doing a good job. They want to know if they can improve in certain areas, and they really do value that feedback. And I feel like I do a good job on telling people, like when I'm talking with them, words of affirmation, but I know I can be doing a better job of doing reviews with people. That's why, you know, that the team leads on the application team and the implementation team. That's why they're there, because I'm a really shitty people manager. Okay. I'm good at doing the sales side, running my mouth, going on stages, teaching about infinite banking, but I'm a really crappy people manager. And that's why I hire out to have people who are better fits in those roles to manage and be the leadership of those teams. And they're having those one-on-one meetings with the people because, again, people want to hear the feedback. They want to know that they're doing a good job. So reward your team and words of affirmation as well. Real quick, I see some comments coming in. David was saying the event was amazing. Thank you. Oh, and Annette says, Tampa, it was a great experience. Would recommend to all, 100 stars. Thank you, my loves. All right, reward your team, words of affirmation. This kind of gets into bullet point number 4. Create a culture and stick to it. You set the tone for your company. Have you ever been in a business or a company where the culture there is a little meh, for lack of better words? You at the leadership level, you are the one setting the tone for the whole entire organization. So if you show up anxious, cranky, bitching, belly aching, having a bad day, your people are going to feel it. And it's important to have good culture so that we're creating a positive work environment. You know, I don't personally believe in a work-life balance as being a business owner. Okay. I know as W-2 people, you know, you kind of have that separation from work and life. It's like, okay, I clock in at 9 o'clock, I clock out at 5. And then once I clock out, I'm leaving the building, I'm done. I'll see you the next morning. Right. And there is a different mentality when it comes to business owners and employees. But as being a business owner, you need to create that culture and you need to stick with it, because there's been companies that have totally dismantled because leadership is not taking feedback. Again, I don't care where it is. Like, let me tell you this, and I've talked about this a lot with my mama as well, is that I don't see our company as being like a pyramid, if you will, right? You have your leader at the top, you have your executive team, you have your CFOs, blah, blah, blah. And then you have all the employees underneath of that, right? And you kind of think of it like as a pyramid and everything going to the top. I think of it as an assembly line, because I believe nobody's job is more important than the other person's job. For instance, here at the Money Multiplier, I'm at the start of the assembly line. I'm sharing the message. I'm going out there, sharing the power of the infinite banking concept, and I'm getting people interested. I'm having them look at their money in a different way, enlightening them, if you will, about the banking business we have here in America. And then once they raise their hand, they say, yep, this is something I want to do. I want to start this policy. Then next on the assembly line is the application team. The application team has to take that person through the underwriting process, being that middleman or middlewoman between the client and their underwriter. So helping them get approved. And then once the client gets approved, now policy goes in force. Now it gets transferred to the implementation team. And the implementation team is there to help them use their policy, creating visual tools to help them use it. They're there for support when life happens, because we're going to have windfalls. We're going to have downfalls, raises, demotions, and we're going to have additions to the family, subtractions from the family. And it's important to stay up to date and on top of what's happening, because you're going to have to update your policy. You know, maybe I'm going to add a beneficiary, remove a beneficiary. Maybe I start my estate planning. Now I have trusts that I want to own my policy, be the beneficiary of the policy. So that's what the implementation team does. And it's a free service that we do for all of our members here at the Money Multiplier. But nobody's job is more important than the next person's job, because the application team would not have anybody if Hannah wasn't on the front line getting the new business. The mapping team wouldn't have anybody if the application team wasn't there getting the client approved for their policy, right? So I think of it as a big assembly line that nobody's more important than the other person, because I can't do my job without you, and you can't do your job without me. And it's a win win-win relationship here that everybody's just as important as the next person. And that's the culture that we have here at the Money Multiplier where, again, it kind of comes back to ego. All right. You are no more important than me, and I am no more important than you. And when you start to have that ego, I'm snipping that in the butt, and you don't deserve to be here on this team. You can go do something else. Right. So it kind of goes back to like operating at a good heart space. I know this kind of sounds a little spiritual, a little woo-woo, and maybe what's feeding into it, y'all, I just started rewatching Midnight Gospel on Netflix. If you know, you know. Go to Netflix a little bit later and look up Midnight Gospel. It's a good series, okay? But I do believe that when you are an executive, you need to set the tone in that leadership of your company and call people out. I mean, I will call people out if you are not operating from a good place, if you're getting anxious. I have one person on the team right now that's kind of being a little grumpy with just like the tone of how they're replying to people. And I called them out. I called them up and I said, hey, what is going on? Is everything okay? Because I do get it. There could be aspects of their personal life that's kind of feeding into their work life. And so you just got to call and check in on your people and see, is everything okay? Can I help you in any way? You don't got to do all of this all by yourself. Going back to the Les Brown quote, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. So be open, be vulnerable with your team members, even your employees. If you are an employee, a W-2 person, 1099 contractor, be open to giving feedback to that executive, your boss, whoever it is, because y'all can just learn from each other. Right. And then if the conversation doesn't go well from one party or the other, then you just know that it's not in alignment. And then you also just break off and go do something else. Right. Because I can tell you, I do not want somebody showing up to work and being miserable. Okay. I don't want you guys to do that. I don't want you to just do this because, it's a paycheck. I'm just clocking in. No, you need to be passionate. You need to feel fulfilled with what you're actually doing. Because then what are you doing? You're just wasting away your time. And time is the only resource that you cannot get back. Money is going to come and go. But it's the time that you're never going to get back. And I don't want you to be working at a company for 40 plus years, absolutely hating it and hating your life. Don't do that. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a little tangent, but seriously, I want you guys to be happy. I want you to feel fulfilled, because then once you feel fulfilled, you'll want to do a better job at your business and whatever you got going on. All right, create a culture and stick to it. You set the tone for your company. I don't know if this is helpful, but y'all, over here, at the Money Multiplier, this is just all that I do. I'm just 100% the infinite banking concept, but people will come to me and ask about different investments, tax strategies, estate planning, business funding, business coaching, consulting. And, do I do that right now in my life? Yeah, but it's not something that I have a huge passion for, but I will turn you on to those people. So if you're thinking to yourself, Hannah, I need help with this, or I'm trying to get involved in residential assisted living investing, or I need help on tax strategies, or I need a business coach or a mindset coach, right? Whatever it is, just reach out to me. I can make those connections of people who I personally enjoy, who I would vet and stand behind. So again, just ask for help, okay? Because if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So ask for that help. And here, I'm going to put my email right here as a banner as well, hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. Reach out to me if you're needing a specific resource for something, and I can turn you on to some folks, okay? All right. Next bullet point, number 5, be open to feedback. This is kind of, I guess we talked about it a little bit, but it's a separate bullet point that I wrote down. Be open to feedback when people are telling you stuff. Here's what I say. I actually follow up with a lot of the folks after an event. And maybe it's not an event that I put on. Maybe it's an event that I'm going and speaking or sponsoring at, which FYI, I do sponsor people's events. So if you know of speaking events around the country or webinars who are wanting speakers, I think I'm a damn good speaker. I'll turn you on to my presentation. Holler at your girl. I would love to come and speak and teach your group, your community. But anytime that I'm speaking at somebody else's event or webinar, I will call them up a few days after the event and I'll say, hey, so how did everything go? I would love your feedback. And more importantly, I don't really want the positive feedback. I want the negative feedback. Give me the negative stuff. Give me the constructive criticism and how can I improve better? And that would be my advice to y'all is ask for that feedback. And yeah, it's good to hear the good things, but I ask specifically, or what are the things that I can do better and I can better improve on? So ask for the feedback, be open to the feedback. And specifically too, I don't know if I really want to go there right now, but again, essentially what I'm just trying to say is just be open to the feedback. And again, do you have to implement all the feedback that you get? No, but don't hit arrival syndrome. Be open and receptive to the new ideas and what people are telling you, but just be open to that feedback that you're getting from your people. Next one that I have on my list is make your system scalable. This has been something that we have focused a lot on in the recent years at the Money Multiplier, is making things scalable, because as we know, there's only so many hours in a day, so much time that we have. There's only one of you. We all get the same 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you need to make yourself scalable. You need to have the systems in place. You need to have the team members in place. Don't just have everything fall back on you. I think, again, this comes from it comes from being a perfectionist. You got to get over that. It comes from asking for help. But when you have a good system in place, you can really scale this thing to the next level. And whether that's automation, AI, I can tell you right now, Chris Naugle's got an AI little bot that he has on the Vault system. So when people are awake at 2 a.m. and they can't sleep and they're thinking about this stuff, instead of waiting to the next day when Chris is awake back in the office, he's got a little bot. People can ask their questions, and Chris will respond right back and give the feedback on the question that they're asking. That's scalable, because now Chris is not having all of his time giving one attention to each individual person. Yes, it's important to give individual attention, but you can also scale. I'll tell you, that's the whole reason that my podcast show started back in 2020, the Money Multiplier podcast. I just wanted to leverage my time better. I was like, people are asking me the same questions over and over again. So instead of me spending 30 to 45 minutes on a phone call saying the same script over and over again, I'm going to answer that individual's question in a 2-minute sentence. But then, hey, here's a podcast episode that I did where I got even deeper into it if you want to go deeper into that specific topic or question. That's the whole reason the podcast show started. Now it's up to the point where it's a lead generation, which I love, right? But that's the whole reason that it started. It was not because I wanted it for lead gen. It was because I wanted to take back more of my time. You got to have the systems in place, automate systems, get the people in place so that you can scale. I can tell you, for us over here, or even like in the chiropractic days, you're not going to see Brent, the chiropractor, checking people in to Silk One, the system that we had, writing the notes over there. He gives those tasks to other people to upload it into the system, checking the patients in, hooking the patients up to therapies. Because if he's doing everything within the office, then it just takes time away from him to market, get new patients through the doors, and then actually spending the time with the patients, giving the adjustments and the meal plan or whatever it was that patient needed. So make your system scalable, okay? And it has been a big learning experience over here, especially with the money multiplier, because Brent was never an agency owner. You know what I mean? Like he was a chiropractor, and then he found his passion of the infinite banking concept because he was actively doing it in his own life. 2008 is when he started his first policy. He paid off a boatload of debt in 39 months using his policies. And he's like, oh my goodness, I need to share with people of what I'm doing and what's actually working. And he was a chiropractic coach there for a little bit. And young chiropractors were seeing the success of what Brent was doing. And he's like, hey, those young chiropractors were like, hey, can you help me? I am opening up my first office. I'm needing some help. Can you give me some feedback? I'll pay you to be my mentor, my coach for a little bit. And so then Brent would get in there, help that chiropractor start up and give feedback of how to run this business. And okay, when you're talking about running a business, you got to finance for things, pay the rent of the office, buy the building if that's what you're doing. You need to have employees in there. So you're going to have salary that you got to pay to those key employees. You got to finance for the equipment, the adjustment tables, the headrest paper, even the toilet paper in the bathrooms, right? You got to always keep those restocked. I remember that was one of my duties every night, taking out the trash and restocking the toilet paper. But it comes with a cost, business costs us stuff, living costs us stuff. And that's when Brent started to turn on these young chiros into the infinite banking concept of, hey, let me show you how to smartly buy this adjustment table, and get all the money back for it. And he just started sharing the message about what he was doing in his office. And those young chiros would be sent to his old mentor, and they would start their infinite banking journey. And then his mentor came to him and said, Brent, did you know that you referred me over 41 new clients this past quarter? And Dad made the joke. He says, wow, that's great, but you never paid me a single dime for any of that business, making the joke, right? And he goes, no, seriously, you seem to have a passion for this. You should maybe consider getting your life license, and you should maybe consider teaching this as well and getting paid to teach it. So that's when Dad got licensed in 2012. And he would follow his mentor, who was working alongside Nelson Nash. Dad would go do a lot of things that Nelson was doing with his mentor. And he would follow him around the country, seeing how he was putting on his live events, live webinars, and different things. And then his mentor passed in 2017. And that's when the money multiplier came about, was 2017, because hey, my mentor passed, that agency is no longer. I think I'm ready to start my own journey here. And when we started, it was Brent being the agent, Joe Nadeau on the mapping team, and Joe Sundemeyer on the application team. And it was just those three folks. And then I joined shortly after, like in 2018, maybe early 2019. And I was on the application team. Then it grew to 5 people. And then it just kept scaling from there because we needed the help. The volume of the business was coming in. We're like, crap, we can't keep up with this. We need more team members. So now we're up to the point where we have 7 folks on the application team and 5 people on the implementation, the mapping team, because it just grew up to this point. But see, Brent was never an agency owner. He was always a producer, right? He was sharing the message of infinite banking. And he kind of just like pooped out this big machine that we're like, okay, we got this big machine now. What's going on, right? And you got to make those little pivots. So ever since then, we've been making changes to make this more and more scalable, and even just getting with the times. Technology and AI is changing so fast. Like, honestly, it's a little scary how fast it's changing. I feel like in my lifetime, you already see the Waymo cars out there. When I was in Tampa, I saw Waymo. I was like, I didn't even know they had Waymos in Tampa yet. I know they have them in Phoenix. I've seen them a few times. I know they have them out there in, where was I at? Not San Antonio, not San Diego. It was another big city, another big town. Miami? Anyways, but even the Waymo cars, those self-driving cars in LA, they have all of the DoorDash little robots Oh, I was in Miami. I did see a little DoorDash robot thing. I was sitting outside eating my dinner outside of the hotel, and you see this robot coming through delivering a meal to somebody. And it's just crazy. You would never think that long ago, because social media is not even that old if you really think about it. I don't know. It kind of scares me. Okay. And maybe I watch too many movies, but like it is a little crazy, a little ridiculous with how fast this technology is moving. But you do got to get with the times. And let me tell you, insurance companies are the worst with that because they're just old companies, right? Been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s. And then they got all this compliance and they're a big company and it just takes them a while to adapt to new things. I even remember there's one insurance company in particular that literally as of like 2 or 3 years ago, finally just went to e-applications. They were doing everything paper applications. You would scan and fax it in or email it in. But now they're with the times. Now they're doing the e-applications like the DocuSigns and whatnot. So it takes them a while to get with the times. But you got to make sure your systems are scalable, okay? So it's not just you doing everything. You got to lean on your good team, your good systems, the AI that we do have, because it will take you to that next level. Because again, it's just how can I maximize my time and scale my time? All right, and my last bullet point that I want to get in here, because I do have a hard stop time at the top of the hour. We got a very busy day today. Creating a celebrity status. This is something that I've started to learn recently. June of 2024 is when I started to learn about this. If you notice, there's big wigs who are out there. Kim Kardashian is like a perfect example. Kim Kardashian has her brand Skims, which, by the way, best bras ever to my ladies. Okay, Skims, love them. Worth every penny. Their t-shirts as well, love them. They're like little undershirts, right? But Skims is worth $5 billion today. The last time that I checked back in December, they're worth $5 billion. And people weren't buying Skims because they liked the product initially. Maybe they did, but initially when Skims launched, people weren't just buying it because they liked the product or doing deep dive in and due diligence on the products that Kim K was pumping out. They bought because of Kim Kardashian herself. People are not buying what you do. They're buying who you are. And people buy from you because of how you make them feel. They want to be around people who are like you, or maybe they want to be exactly like you. And that's why they're buying from you. See, people will go deep, deep, deep into product, and this is what I do, and this is how I can help you. But at the end of the day, and yeah, you'll make some sales from that. But at the end of the day, people are buying from you because of who you are, and they want to be you, or they want to be around people who are like you. And ever since I learned that, it was like, game changer. Okay. So I've been working with my mentor, and that's why you guys kind of see me doing a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to say, giving kind of away my secret weapons is when you start to frame yourself as that celebrity in the eyes of your clients and prospects, people are just going to naturally gravitate towards you. Maybe there's other people who are out there doing the business better than you, but because you have that status and people are talking about you, people are going to come to you because it kind of goes back full circle. People want to do business with good people who have that celebrity status, lack of better words. There's a different word I want to use here, but I think you guys are getting me. So frame yourself to be that celebrity in the eyes of your clients and prospects, because people are buying from, not from what you do, but because of who you are. And that is what's going to totally catapult you into being different than the other folks who are in the same line of business that you're in. There could be another HVAC company doing the same exact thing in your town that you're doing. There could be another coach doing the same stuff that you're doing. But what separates you is that status that you have compared to them. That's why I've been doing television. That's why I've been speaking at places like the Boston Harvard Club, MIT, NASDAQ, New York Academy of Medicine, New York City Bar Association. There's more and more, I just can't think of them right now. But because it's framing me to be that celebrity in the eyes of my clients and prospects. And I can just tell you, because the one thing that I personally struggle with being a young female, number one, being a female, okay, we're still having, it's hard, okay? Just think back, our country is so young and everything that we've gone through up to this point in this year of March of 2026. But being a female, it's hard in this space when you're in a business that's very male dominated, very dog eat dog world, if you will. But then on top of that, being young, I mean, there have been calls, not a whole lot, but there's probably been about 4 or 5 calls where I will get on the phone with them. I'll answer all of their questions about the infinite banking concept. And they go, okay, this conversation has been so great. And I think I'm ready to get started, but I want to talk with Brent first. Can you set up a phone call for us to talk with Brent? And I'll be very blunt with them. I say, okay, sure, but may I ask, is there a reason that you want to talk with Brent right now? Is there something that I did not answer or provide clarification to you on? And they say, no, I just want to talk with Brent as well. And I say, okay, is it because Brent has a penis? That's why you want to talk with him? I've said that a few times. And they say, no. This is amazing. No. I'm ready to go. I'm sorry. Let's just get started. Right? I don't know what it is. And I get it. And honestly, this comes from old men who say this to me that want to talk with Brent because they think that, oh, Hannah doesn't have the experience. Hannah doesn't have that many years on her doing this stuff. But then once I start to showcase, hey, I started my own bank when I was 18, got into real estate investing by the time I was 20, then became a self-made millionaire by the time I was 24. Once you start to explain that story, they're like, okay, there's something here to this. Yeah, you got the credibility. I'm ready to go do business with you. But you are going to have those people who don't value you as a woman. So to all my ladies out there who don't value you because of your age, they think of it as lack of experience, which, I mean, there's some truth to that, right? I mean, being 26 compared to my father who's going to be 59 this year, yeah, he's just got 30 more years of experience on my life. But he tells me verbatim, he's like, Hannah, you are not any smarter than myself, and I am not any smarter than you. It's just me. I got more experience. I got more life experience, and I get that, right? But when I'm starting to create this celebrity status around what I'm doing, it breaks down that mental that they have regarding wanting to work with me, right? So that has been game changer in my life, going through this mentorship, going through this coaching that I've been doing. And I mean, hey, if you want me to turn you on to my mentor, I love him. They have just completely changed my life. And I'll tell you, it did not start off like this. Quite honestly, I didn't like him at first. I didn't like him at first. It was because of Dad. Before I even walked into the room in the Bahamas, we were at an event, and we're speaking to a group of chiropractors. And actually, that event host reached out to me first for me to come and speak. But I was like, you know what? These are chiros. Dad, you're going to just cater better to this group of people, yourself being a chiropractor. I mean, I can talk. I was the CA at one of your offices. But you being the chiropractor, I think you should talk to these people just because you're going to kiki it better with them, right? and then so he says, okay, I'll go and speak to them, but do you still want to come with me? I said, hell yeah, I still want to come with you. I want to go to the Bahamas. Absolutely. So we go down there, and before I even walk into the room, Dad has already signed me up for this $25,000 coaching program. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what did you sign me up for? I'm already so freaking busy this year. And I was talking to the guy, and I liked him. I liked him when I was talking with him. there were just some things I'm like, I don't know if I really like this about you. But as I've grown to know him deeper and deeper, I get him and I get his vibe and I really vibe with him. Like, you got to have some people in your life that are going to give you that tough love, not from ego. Okay. I'm so freaking over ego this week. Let me just tell you, that's why I keep bringing it up. But not from a place of ego, just from a place of experience in that tough love aspect. Okay. And it wasn't from a place of, being manipulative or breaking me down. It was nothing like that. It was just the tough love of things that I needed to hear, that I just wasn't being honest with myself that I needed to hear it. And the first mastermind training that I did with him, he actually made me cry. He pissed me off so much that he made me cry. But after we got over that hurdle and we sat down and we were talking, it's been amazing. Now I've been working with them for going on 2.5 years now, and it's just been a game changer. I've just really been loving the stuff that I've been doing. I'm learning a lot as a business owner, as my own person. So if you want me to turn you on to my specific mentor itself, send me an email as well. I'm going to post it up again, hannah@themoneymultiplier.com. I'll make that connection between y'all. But anyways, it's been fun. Those are some of the topics. And I bet I have more in my little noggin. I just can't think of them right now. But those were all the topics that I had written down of part one and part two of things that will take you far in business. And as I continue to learn more and more, I'll be bringing this. Maybe we'll do like another webinar series kind of like this. But 2 things I want to leave with y'all. Okay, here's kind of the direction I want to go this year. I'm not going to be doing another large event this year. I know normally in fall time, we host our Money Multiplier Mastermind, 2 days, just everything infinite banking. I kind of need a break from big events, if I'm being honest with y'all. But Noggle and I have been talking about doing like a 3-day virtual session. Okay, so doing a webinar in the fall time of our mastermind event. I really want to go into the space of close, intimate mastermind groups. Last August, I took my women's group down to Acapulco, Mexico. We spent a week out there in a 6-star villa. Butlers, housekeepers, massage therapists on call, the chef every single day. I mean, it was amazing. And we gained a lot of value out of that because it wasn't just speakers up on stage teaching. It was, the value was from having those one-on-one conversations or masterminding at the start of the day, then going out on fun excursions, because that's what life is about. It's not, I want the knowledge, I want the experiences, but it's more so creating that culture and having people network one-on-one and allowing people to ask those questions to specific people. I think you can get deeper and more rooted within yourself. So I really want to I want to do another Acapulco thing, Roatan. Okay, that I've been looking at Roatan. Roatan's pretty cool. Actually, my father's thinking about buying a condo out in Roatan. Belize, Heck, I would love to go back to Thailand. We backpacked around Thailand, my close girlfriend and I, last March, actually a year ago from this month. So just going to exotic places, maybe keeping it stateside, maybe doing like a Utah thing or a California thing, or renting like a house in the Keys, the Florida Keys, or doing something like that. But that's kind of where I want to go, is doing those intimate mastermind groups. And also I want to do a webinar series for my Gen Z millennial folks as well. I have a lot of people from teens, like 16 to about, I think I'm going to cut it off at age 30. Maybe I'll push it to age 35, but like 16 to 35, getting together and doing a mastermind meeting, and maybe doing these things quarterly, just like a Saturday morning, starting at 9 a.m. and going to about 1 o'clock, and just adding value to my generation and the millennial generation. That's something I've been really, really thinking about, and I think really what I want to do as well. So that's the direction that I'm moving in, but I'm not slowing down on speaking. I'm going to continue to stay on stages and do webinars, do different podcasts. So again, if you know of events happening, holler at me. I'll sponsor the event, or I'll come out there and just speak for free. And I think last topic on things that will take you far in business. If you have not read this book, Becoming Your Own Banker, you need to read the book. You need to reread the book if it's been a little bit. And here's what I will offer to y'all. I have copies here that I will ship to you. Again, send me an email, Hannah@themoneymultiplier. I will ship you copies of Becoming Your Own Banker. I charge $30, and that includes the shipping. $30, I'll ship the book to you. But here's my requirement. You have to read that book in a month. I'm going to follow up with you. You got to read this book in 1 month. And if you don't do it, then this offer does not stand. But if you read this book in a month, and I'm telling you, it's only 90 pages. Look how thick the book is. Okay, seriously. If you read this book in a month, and if you believe that this is the worst read that you have ever done in your entire life, you're like, Hannah, that is the crappiest 2 hours that I've ever spent in my life, and I totally pissed away my time reading this book. If that's how you genuinely feel, I will refund you the $30, and I will also donate $100 to your favorite charity in your name. That's how passionately that I believe that this book will completely change your life. It has completely changed my family's life. It has completely changed my life. And I'll even turn you on to other people of lives that is totally, completely changed. I'm going to leave y'all with this. As Nelson Nash says, you want to be in 2 businesses in your lifetime. The first business is the one that you're passionate about. Supports the livelihood, supports the family, gets you up out of bed every single day. The second business is the banking business, the business that finances everything throughout your life. And that's what we're here talking about, is the banking business and how you are financing your life. Okay, I know I got some comments coming in, but I do got to go. It's the top of the hour here. I will be back next Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time sharp. And until then, make good choices today, because the choices that you make today will affect your future. Mwah. See y'all later.